Welcome to the Beast Council. Yes, that is correct. This is the podcast for the AspiRE group. We are calling this the Beast Council podcast. This is our first one in our season. Thank you for joining. I know normally we do the RTS Execution Lab, which we still are running, and it's within the AspiRE Mastermind group. We wanted to start portraying the things that are going on in the AspiRE Mastermind group, and wanted to give a little bit more attention to our members, talking about things that are locally going on in the Milwaukee, southeastern Wisconsin market, and just focus more on the real estate investors and push the AspiRE Mastermind brand. Obviously, you still see RTS raise the standard. That is the brokerage, my team that I run, and is in cahoots with AspiRE. We are partners, and we are all doing this together. But because we are pushing more of the education, our 90-day cohort, and all those amazing things that we're doing inside the AspiRE school and the AspiRE Mastermind, we felt like it was important for us to start showcasing our members and the things that are going on in our market and all those beautiful things. So with that being said, let's get things underway. First and foremost, we got to give a big shout out to Next Home My Way, the brokerage where I hold my license here in southeastern Wisconsin. We got two branches, one here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and our other one is in Lake Mary, Florida. So if you are some snowbirds and want to find some properties down in Florida, we can definitely help you out there. So I just always want to give a big shout out to our leadership team here, which I'm on that team as well. But I always want to give a shout out to Angel, Jose, and Carlos for just allowing me to produce these webinars, these podcasts, content by using their social media room. So if you are an agent or broker that's looking for a new brokerage to place your license, please consider Next Home My Way. We are doing some big things here. We are growing. We just added on a couple new agents this week, and just honestly doing some big things here. And I know that's me praising somewhere I'm at, but I'm so ecstatic to be here and promoting the brokerage, because without them, I wouldn't have this amazing studio to put on these podcasts, put on these webinars, and put the information out there to share with everyone, right? Because I am predominantly focused on helping real estate investors build their real estate portfolio. As I always tell people, I don't help you buy a property. I help you buy a business. It just so happens to be a property. And because of that, I've been allowed to just focus on that. I've been at a bunch of other brokerage and they frowned upon me just focusing in that area. And this was one of those first brokerages that just allowed me to go all in on this. And it's been very successful. They've provided me with a conference room where I can hold my monthly meetings here, which AspiRE, we hold our mastermind meetups at our headquarters here across the street from the airport, 5151 South Howell Avenue, and second Wednesday of every month. So thank you again for them allowing me to do that and just supporting me to build my brand. And for those agents that are at a brokerage that don't have these resources and tools, please consider us, reach out. reach out to Jose, reach out to Carlos, reach out to myself, and we'll get you hooked up. Also, want to just give a big shout out to my team, Raise the Standard, and all that we're doing in the focus of assisting investors on building their real estate portfolio. We're not about helping you just buy a property, right? We're helping you build a business so that you can build the lifestyle that you want. Uh, Raise the Standard, we live by three mottos. Besides our, tagline of "We don't help you buy a property, we help you buy a business." It just so happens to be a property. We also live by three mottos of raise the standard of living. If the deal doesn't work for our client family, us, and the community, we don't want to be a part of it, and because we feel that we are an important part of building communities and not just helping people buy houses, but providing a living situation. And we want to raise the standard in the communities that we serve. The second one is be better by being better. Right? Each day we try to improve. We want to get better. We want to improve on our skills, learn more, do more, be more. And the last one, what's your legacy? Why are you doing this? Right? One of the reasons decided to start helping investors because I felt like there was a gap in the market, and I wanted to help people build the lifestyle that they wanted to live. Right? And it's through real estate. I think real estate is one of those wealth engines that has been around forever before the stock market, right? That's what a landlord was back in the day, right? Or lord of the land. Uh, so any one of those people out there who saw the movie Lord of War. But again, that is one of the things that brings me so much joy and passion, is that I get to help people pay for their lifestyle, right? I tell people all the time, if you're wanting a new car, let's buy that duplex, right? If you want to go on 4 more vacations, let's buy that 4 unit. If you do want that mini mansion, let's buy you that 6 unit, so all these assets can pay for your liabilities, right? Because I am a big proponent. Your single family house is a liability because you're paying money out every week or every month, and an asset is something that brings you money. So again, that's why I differentiate that I don't help you buy a property, I help you buy a business. It just so happens to be a property. All right. So thank you again for joining me, and thank for a big shout out to our um, um, I'm drawing a blank right now. Just our, I don't want to say promoters, but our individuals that and businesses that support us, Next Home My Way, and obviously my own team as well, Raise the Standard, supporting AspiRE Mastermind Group. With that being said, let's get into it. So the difference between this, obviously, the weeks before, we're still going to be educating you. We're still going to be teaching you the importance of investing and showcasing how to become a better investor, right? So that's not going to change. The Execution Lab was a big proponent of that. We um, try to break down the AspiRE system, which again, that's one of the reasons why we wanted to go in this way, because we're already using the AspiRE system and acronyms. And so we just felt like we should transition this to a podcast, because I want to start interviewing other investors and other people in our group about how to invest, what they're doing in investing, and things of that nature. So moving forward, I'm going to start having guests with me. And because I also have these on Wednesdays, I'm hoping this to tie into the mastermind meetup group that we have been now recording and going live with as well. Um, so hopefully you'll come all along on this journey with me, and be a part of this movement that we're trying to create, and try to educate individuals to aspire for more, right? That's the whole reason why we named it Aspire, is because we want individuals to aspire to do more through real estate. I just, I always tell people this is how I feel like I'm saving the world, right? I grew up on the north side of Milwaukee. My mom had a place my entire time. I lived in the same home from kindergarten to high school, and I just felt like that had a huge impact on uh, my experience in Milwaukee. Wasn't the greatest neighborhood, but I knew where always home was, and that is something that I want to offer to other people and help them do that. And One of the things that I felt like I did see growing up was that we did have a lot of absentee landlords. I'm learning that now, being in this role, that sometimes landlords are don't do the best to serve the community, and instead of just complaining about it, I want to be a part of it. Like for out-of-state investors, I'm a big proponent on out-of-state investors. I think they play a huge part. I call it foreign aid, because they bring in money into our state that normally wouldn't be invested here. And we had some bad raps with outside investors, and I call it twofold, in the sense that you just can't blame the outside investor, because they find someone locally to work with, and if that local partner doesn't hold those individuals accountable, um, then we all lose, right? So again, you know, wanting to provide a opportunity to help educate um, our what I want to say, help educate our individuals that invest in our communities and provide that service. So let's get into it, right? I've been using this because of compounding. Like I said, this is going to be building on some of the previous webinars that I've been giving. Again, this first podcast is just going to be me. So you just have me, but moving forward, I'm hoping to have guests to further discuss and talk about these things as well. Um, so compound interest is the eighth wonder of the world. He who understands it earns it. He who doesn't pays it. Albert Einstein, one of the smartest individuals in the world, and wasn't even a I don't want to say he wasn't a mathematician, because he was, um, scientist and everything else. But compound interest is definitely dealing with financing and things of that nature. But he also recognized the power that it has, right? And that's the thing that I want to share with people. Of That's what you're doing when you're buying a real estate investment property, right? You're building compound interest on your money. Um, One of the stories I always like to share is when it hit me is when I had my investment, and I was, you know, on vacation in Mexico, and enjoying myself, and had a really good night, and ended up spending $500, which is not a lot, right? Totally understand that, but it was such a moving moment when I woke up the next day and saw that I had an email of someone paying their rent, and it was 750, and it made me realize, like, instead of me being down 500, I was up 250, right? And that literally showed to me that, oh, I could be making money while I'm on vacation, while I'm in Mexico, if I have my systems in place. So having systems in place is a huge impact on what I want to provide, and what our group is trying to do for the community, helping individuals understand that you also can do this, right? Everyone doesn't need to own 1,000 units to live a good life, right? I always tell people, if you own 5 duplexes, you're going to be 100,000 and if you own 5 4 units, you're going to be a millionaire. Um, because if each 4 unit is worth 250,000, there you go. There's your million, right? You got 5 of them. You can have duplexes worth 250,000. They're your millionaire as well, right? So, so you can probably become a millionaire with your duplexes too if you buy decent ones, right? But most of the time, people, buy cheaper duplexes and things of that nature. But yeah, let's keep it moving. Um, so again, like I said, this I want to still tie in the execution lab, because I think it's very important of the premise of what we're trying to accomplish, right? We want you to execute, right? I think a lot of times with investors, they get stuck. They don't really showcase. Um, Oops, sorry. They don't really showcase. Um, Moving forward, right? Big thing about AspiRE Mastermind is that we are always following up with our individuals. So like every meeting, we ask, what have you done since the last meeting, right? And we want people to always come and say, hey, I'm doing something, right? Even if it's, hey, I was analyzing 5 deals and now I'm analyzing 10 deals, or I was analyzing 5 deals and I finally went on a showing, or I met with a lender, right? We always want you executing, execution, 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 because that's the difference between someone who's just keep running numbers and not doing anything else, or just saying you're doing stuff and not necessarily moving things forward and executing, right? So again, we're gonna still tie everything in together. Obviously, me being a broker, me wanting to assist people, obviously with us having Aspire and our education that we have, and a lot of the things that we built is in the Aspire school, and we just want people to be involved with our group so that we can help you keep moving forward, right? So with that being said, what we plan on learning today, you know, why effort compounds exactly like interest. So we just want to tie things in, right? Your ability to put in effort is no different than compound interest, right? It something you do today can benefit you tomorrow, the next day, the following day, 2 weeks from now, 3 weeks from now, right? And as you keep doing that, right, that's just I always share with people, like I try to analyze deals every day, even if it's from one deal to 5 deals to 10 deals. I'm trying to analyze the deal every day because now I come across some properties that I've analyzed deals 2 years ago, right? So like it's compounding interest. It's helping me understand my market. It's helping me know where something was 2 years ago to now where it is, right? You know, sometimes people buy properties 6 months ago and then they try to put it on the market and then they didn't do much, but they're trying to still get $50,000. Well, if I ran the numbers 6 months ago on that property, and now you turn around and I see the same type of pictures, I know you didn't do anything for that property, right? So like that's me always being in the market, always knowing what's going on in my market, and helping me get better. And like that's compound interest. We're also going to go AspiRE again, kind of continuing on from some of the things that we've done in the past. And what previous things we're doing, right? We are building, right? We're compounding, right? We're just not just taking something that um, um, current prices that we are helping you, right? The Aspire E, right? The acronym. Again, that's part of the reason why we wanted to change um, this to the Beast Council podcast, because we were building everything off Aspire. We wanted to tie everything else, right? My brokerage is, within this, it's a service that we provide. And I wanted to tie everything back to Aspire because that's where we keep the education. That's where we keep all those things. And part of what I also provide is consultation. So, but I use the Aspire Beast Council to support that consultation and putting you through those things. Again, this is a bigger picture, but just want to explain to you guys that, why we're kind of making these changes. And then I always kind of showcase a deal example, right? I kind of created it because obviously on Tuesdays, if you follow me, I do a deal analysis, lunch and learn every Tuesday at 12 o'clock. And so I try to use I use those real live deal analysis to showcase people, and then but I try to use an example that I've created to better just show you how a bird deal should look, right? So it's a generic deal, it's not real life, but I just try to show you the numbers to just simplify it. But if you want to see me run live deals, catch me on Tuesdays at 12 o'clock, same channel, same bat time, to have me analyze deals in real life using the Aspire calculator. Again, everything is built around the Aspire brand, and my RTS. Brokerage is outside of it. We just support you from a brokerage standpoint because we can help you do the deals. So, and that's what I always try to tell people, right? I'm your guru's broker. I understand what you're trying to accomplish. I understand what you're trying to do. I would say your guru will use me as their broker because I understand what they're trying to accomplish. And so that's the difference between me and your guru, right? Gurus just give you the information and then they say, hey, there you go out there and do it. Where we're here with Aspire, we not only give you that information, we not only give you that education, but then now I can actually hold your hand through a deal because I am a licensed broker within the state of Wisconsin. Now, if you're in a different state, still can kind of talk you through the process because most transactions are the same. Now there's some nuances, different things that happen in different states. And obviously I can't completely speak to those things, but I can always speak to you about the transaction and how a deal goes and the things that you should look for from that being a licensed broker. market pulse. So I'm gonna look over at my notes here and just share with you what's going on in our market right now, and what's going on. So Milwaukee active listings have increased beginning of 2026 to now from 1157 new listings to 1645. That's an increase of 42%. Also, because um, I cover the southeastern Wisconsin market, so I also try to bring in Racine and Kenosha. So Racine active listings increased from 276 to 381. That's a 38% increase. And then Kenosha active listings increased from 158 to 276, which is a 75% increase. At the same time, buyer demand has also increased. Sales increased from 393 to 854. That's a 117% increase. Racine increased from 103 to 181. In Kenosha, sales increased from 72 to 132. That's an 83% increase. This basically is telling us the market is not slowing down. Milwaukee is hot. We're hot. I will say again, this is part of the reasons why I work with outside investors. I want to say probably 50% of my clients are out-of-state investors. Bigger Pockets just dropped something and said Milwaukee is number 5 in the top markets right now, and it's showing because money goes a long way here, right? $300,000 can get you a 4 unit, where I know, like in California, that's getting you a hole in a wall, right? But Milwaukee is still bright. I always tell people there's not a day I don't go on the MLS and don't find a deal that has gotten an accepted offer, right? So there's not a day, I'm telling you, there's not a day I don't go on the MLS and there hasn't been an accepted offer. So I'm always telling people, especially like investors who want to sell their properties and they're like, well, I know this is what it's worth. If it's been sitting for a while, you're priced wrong, right? Where this is not the market where, hey, this is what it's priced for and someone's going to eventually buy it. That is not the case here. If you price it right, you should get an offer quite soon, because people are still buying here. Month of supply remains tight. Month of supply is one of the most important metrics for investors because it measures the balance between available inventory and buyer demand. I want to say current month of supply is Milwaukee is 1.93 right now. Racine is 2.11. Kenosha is 2.09. A balanced market is generally considered 4 to 6 months. That's what I'm saying. We're not balanced. We are still a seller's market. We are still operating a seller leaning environment despite rising inventory, right? This is the summertime for us, so you do see a little bit more listings going on the market. I just got a new listing that I just put on the market as well. And then I just got to close. I got just an accepted offer on another deal. Like I said, this market is moving, guys. I got a listing right now. Hopefully, fingers crossed, for closing next week. Property in Waukesha, that's another suburb in Milwaukee. So things are moving, right? Things are moving for us. Last month I closed on a deal with a client who I will be speaking about later on this in this presentation. But again, the focus should remain strong on strong cash flow, value add opportunities, force appreciation strategies, and neighborhood level analysis, right? For BRRRR investors, additional inventory entering the market creates more acquisition opportunities. However, execution discipline becomes critical, right? Because a lot of stuff is happening doesn't mean you get away from it, right? Systems is what you need to have because things are moving. You don't want to go overbid for something and you just destroy the numbers that you had, right? The systems are the most important. Systems is what helps you move quickly, and you don't want to get away with it, right? The deals work will be the deals that meet your acquisition criteria and support refinance strategy, not simply the properties that have been sitting on the market longer, right? Again, I'm a big proponent because I'm licensed. You can say whatever. I like deals on the market, right? Because if they've been sitting, I can tell you that that's not the price, right? Where if it's off market, you might can make the sale that, hey, this is what it should be, and that's what it is, right? So, but here we go, right? Education block, right? Money verse. Compound interest, we just said that about Albert Einstein. Deposit money, let the money work, collect the return, right? But the investing version, every rep you take compounds. Every deal funds the next one. The system is the interest rate on your effort. Charles Clark. Deposit reps, let the system work, collect the deal, right? Reps, right? Every day you should be analyzing the deal. And if you're not putting in the reps, you're not learning your market, you're not understanding what's going on, you're not looking at, Rentometer or rent.com or apartments.com or Zillow. You need to be checking all these things if you want to know what's going on in the market, where you understand something, because Milwaukee does have different pockets where 2 blocks over you can be selling something for 250,000, and then you go another 3 blocks over and stuff is selling for 175, right? So you got to understand your market, you got to understand what you're doing, and you got to put in those reps. The compound curve, right? People start and then they stop, right? We got June 6th on there because we just started our 90-day cohort, and we're just letting people know a lot can happen in 90 days. A lot can change in 90 days. You can go from, 0 to your first deal in 90 days, or you might even be in a situation where you're closing on a deal, you start doing your rehab, and now you got it back on the market to sell. And a lot can happen in that time period. And so we just want to let you know, having systems, having that team around you, having the community around you, just move things forward so much quicker, because you're in the environment, you're having those conversations, you're talking to people, you're doing all the things that are necessary, because this is a business, guys, right? And that's the big thing that I always try to share, because I come across a lot of investors that are, lack of a better words, are kind of incompetent, because they are not running their business like a business. They're just doing things. They don't have systems. They don't have all the documents. And again, that is one of the things that I saw as being a real estate broker and wanting to work with investors, that was something that I could provide. And that's part of the reasons why I teamed up with the individuals that I have and created AspiRE, because I knew we needed an ecosystem for our investors. I'd rather work with an investor and get them to their next deal, because why would I help someone buy a property that they want to live in, and then hopefully they refer people to me, or got to wait 5 years before they want to sell it and go get the next one, right? I'd rather help that investor get that deal done and get them on to the next one, right? Because if I can help that investor buy that duplex, fix it up, prove it, force appreciation, pull that money back out and go get the next one, they gonna get another deal in the next 4 to 5, 6 months, right? Instead of waiting another year, 2, 3, 4, 5 years to get that next deal from that same client, right? And so that's the difference between two types of investors, right? Some investors just buy and then they just, that's what they do, and then they got to wait until the appreciation of that property. I try to work with investors who want to force that appreciation so they can recycle that capital. So we're going to get AspiRE, the compound filter, right? Exit strategy. Everyone needs to have an exit strategy. Even if you say, I'm going to hold this for the next 30 years and I'm going to pass that off to my child, that's an exit strategy. Your exit strategy is that you need to be putting that property in a trust so that that child can get that property, right? So you should always be working on your E. So this is the deal that, like I said, it's an arbitrary deal. Like, I just kind of presented this because I think at times people get so caught up that if I don't make more money than what I put in there, then that's not a good deal. And I just try to tell people that if that's always what you're looking for, you're going to do far and few between deals. But if you can get your money back and keep that asset, that is what you want to do, right? To me, that's the ideal situation, right? Yeah, obviously, if I put 50,000 in, I get 75,000 out. Awesome. Especially, fix and flips, right? Obviously, fix and flips, you actually want to make more money than what you put in. What's the point of putting money into something and just getting your money back, right? You didn't do anything. So fix and flips, you always got to profit. But if it's something that you're holding, I personally just think that being able to buy that property, fix it up, improve it, force their appreciation, then go into, using a hard money loan like Mach 1. Big shout out to Mach 1. They've been helping me on my deals. They helped me on my last deal with my client, who, again, I will be bringing up later on. Hard money, and then you go to a DSCR loan, right? So I'm putting money into this deal. So in this situation, the property is worth 85,000. The rehab is 35. We're all in 120. We're gonna push the property to 160. The cash out of 75% of that is 120. I get all my capital back. To me, that's a great deal, right? Because now I also have equity in that deal, but I got all my money back to go get the next one now. Like, how is that not a great deal, right? Like, everyone's trying to always hit home runs, and sometimes you got to hit those singles, doubles, and triples, right? And eventually you'll get a home run where it's just out of the park. But to me this is a home run almost, right? Because I got all my money back and I still got an asset. Like, that's a win-win to me, right? And that you just compound that, because now I have my property, and now I'm going to go get the next one with the same money that I bought the first property with. So 30, 60, 90 days, right? 30-day framework master, first deal submitted, first offer written, right? So this goes under the cohort, right? A lot can get done in 90 days, because that's really setting up the framework for the property. Again, we're going through it right now. It's not too late if you want to join up, but in 30 days, right, we're giving you the framework. We're helping you with your buy box. We're helping you meet the individuals that you need to meet. Go meet that lender, go meet that home inspector, go meet the contractor, go meet the property manager, go do all those things in those first 30 days while you're analyzing deals. Right now, you got your buy box. Now you know what you're looking for. Now you went to the lender, you got approved. All those things help, right? And then first 60 days, deal under contract. I can tell you that right now. I just got an accepted offer yesterday with one of my clients. I want to say we've probably been working together less than 30 days, but no, as a matter of fact, it was been more than 30 days, because when they got referred to me, they haven't got pre-approved, and they had to work on some stuff. I want to say it probably took them about a month to actually get pre-approved, and then we've been searching for properties probably for the last 2 weeks. Wrote on an offer, didn't get accepted. Wrote on another one, didn't get accepted. And then we wrote one, like I said, on Monday, and got an accepted offer on Tuesday. So it's happening in real life, guys, and I'm in the midst of it. So I don't want you to sit there and think like this is not a real thing and this is not happening. Especially being a broker, we're only working with investors. I get to see it firsthand, and see these deals getting closed, and things moving forward. And then, like in this one, first 90 days, we're gonna have to be doing some stuff, right? I got the deal that I'm going to talk more a little bit about. We're in the first 90 days of it. The deal closed. Now we're getting the contractors out to the property to fix it up and get that process going. So a lot can happen in 90 days, man. So your life can change in 30, 60, and 90 days. And that's what we all just try to prove with our cohort. Again, so just trying to show you what one deal can compound into 5, right? Your first deal, if you do it right, it should lead to the next one. And then that deals. So if we just repeating what we're doing, right? Like, I'm not trying to say you're going to be a millionaire after first deal, right? And maybe that's why some people don't always um, um, like the message that I'm giving, because I'm not selling pipe dreams, right? I'm selling you reality, right? Your first deal is 450. That's not a lot, unless, right? What are we using that for? So again, 450, that's a new car, right? That's a decent car. If you got good credit, that's a car payment, right? Now I got a property that's paying for my new car, right? Deal 2, right? 900 now, right? That's an additional 450, right? So that's why we got the 900. Now my second property is bringing in 450 on top of the other 450. That's 900 a month, right? Now, okay, now the whole car insurance and some gas is getting paid for, right? And so now deal 3, I'm getting 1350, right? So like now we're going to, like, maybe that's a new trip for me, right? Because now I'm saving up money, right? But I'm bringing in the extra 1350, right? That doesn't seem like a lot, but that's some people's part-time job, right? Now that's what you're building, right? You're building a part-time job, which hopefully you can build it to it become a full-time job, right? Because you're getting paid this monthly, right? And so all this is happening, right? This is month 1 through 6, then month 7 through 12, then month we're in year 3, and then you do 2 deals in year 3, right? Well, we're in year 2 and deal 3, and then year 3 we do another one, right? So my goal is to have you do multiple deals in the same year, but this is just saying, hey, if you were just doing it in this timeline, right, to making things get done and happen, right? And so at year 5, you're making $2,250, right? That's a new car. That could pay probably a small mortgage, right? Or that's a mortgage, right? That's a mortgage at that point. Or you're going on multiple trips now, right? So again, having this approach simplified, right? It's just $450. It might not seem a lot, but by year 5, you're paying off a lot of other stuff that You're just collecting that money. Who's making moves? So this is a big shout out to my client who is an AspiRE Mastermind member, Michael Miller. He closed on a 2 single family properties on 1 lot. We're actually going through that deal right now. I'm going to be speaking on his behalf, and hopefully I can get him to come to the podcast soon and speak on the deal that he's doing, and talk about the process that we're going through. I'm helping him project management because he's an out-of-state investor. He's in Chicago right now. He does drive up to our mastermind meetings, so it's been a big um, opportunity for him to meet people in the market, understand what's going on here, and have conversations with other individuals of doing what he's trying to do. Right? He's in his profession. He doesn't necessarily want to stay in it. He's trying to use real estate to get out of it. Right? And so being in that community, being able to talk to other people, building those relationships is so important, because again, this is not a solo sport. I think sometimes people think this is a solo sport. You got to do these things on your own, and it's not. It's a team sport. You need individuals on your team. You need individuals in your corner supporting you, helping you work out, helping you practice, helping you build those reps, and helping you close those deals, right? And so he's the one that used Mach 1 for hard money. So hard money, he was able to get in that deal, only have to put 4% down, got the money to buy the property, and also got the money for the rehab. So again, we are doing real live deals right now. We're not just talking about it, we're being about it, right? And so um, we use this. I would say we use the AspiRE thing, right? We recognize that deal. He wanted to do short-term rentals, so right, again, he started off what he thinks the exit should be, and we just went through that process. The seller was a nonprofit organization that was doing it. They wanted to get out of it. We put in our office price, had an inspection, found some other things wrong, wanted to lower the price because of that, did that. Now we're in the I aspect right of it right now, right? We're actually trying to add the improvements, and then obviously we ran R&E through the pro forma, and our goal is to turn this into a short-term rental or Airbnb. Where the goal is, in one of the houses we're going to add a bedroom and a bathroom. I have a video out. You'll be seeing that later. Actually went through it with some contractors today. We're going to be having that video out. So the next move is to deal with that property. We're going to start working on it. We got contractors going out there at the end of this week to start doing demolition, and then we're going to be working on the roof. First steps that we're going to be doing. So those are going to be the next move right now. Follow me if you haven't. Find me on Facebook. Find me on Instagram. I will be producing videos and clips of the project that we're going to be doing is there as well. So big shout out to Michael. Thank you again for trusting Raise the Standard to be your broker and to help you do the property management, project management as well, for your deal. We thank you, and thank you for joining AspiRE, man. You're why we're doing it, right? You're the result, right? You are proving to us, hey, it's worth paying for our membership, it's worth using our brokerage, it's worth partnering with AspiRE and RTS. So tonight, 3 sentences. Effort compounds the effort compounds like interest. Every rep you take builds the next deal, the next refi, the next door. And that's exactly what we're doing, right? With the deal that I'm working with Michael, we are working on it. The whole point of this is to buy this, improve the value of that property, get out the hard money, go get a DSCR loan, pull that money out, go get the next deal, right? It's just compounding. So as we're building on this, he's already looking at other deals that we need to do. AspiRE forces you to plan the return before the deposit, right? That's what we did with this deal. We looked at it, we ran the numbers for it to be a short-term rental. The numbers made sense. That's why we went for it. We knew the price that we had to go after, and we got the price that we wanted. And the Milwaukee Bird deal, like I said, we're going through right now. Obviously, we just used an example to just showcase you the importance of how just one deal and making $450 is a lot, man. That It's a huge, right? That's $450 that's coming into your pocket every month, no matter what, right? Unless your tenant moves out and then you got to find another one. But then at that point, you might can make 500 or 550. So again, always going to promote, push. You can sign up and be a part of the mastermind group. The first meeting is free. You can come to it. Always check us out. You bring someone, we can help promote that as well. But join the mastermind group, right? Just come be a part of the community, build with the community, learn with the community, grow with the community, and build that real estate portfolio that you are aspiring to, right? And again, you can roll into the RTS cohort, which I will put you in the 90-day cohort. But with the RTS cohort, you get me, you get the personal. It is $2,500, but you get $7,000 worth of stuff. You get the calculator, you get a bunch of other things. You get access to stuff. I help you with the financing. I help you figure it out. I help you. Like I said, I personally hold your hand, help you build a strategy, help you build a capital strategy, help you build the systems that you need to have in place, help you understand how to better analyze, give you the AspiRE calculator, sit down with other agents, other clients, other investors to help you really figure out what you need to do. 2,500 or 3 payments of 850. We will work with you, but just wanting to show you the difference. And like I said, how this all ties together. Obviously, we got the 90-day cohort that you can do separately, and just that. You don't get the personal touch with me, but you still get the group, you still get to sign up, you still get all those goodies. The interest on your effort is waiting, right? Execution. What are you going to do? Every week you wait is a missed deposit, right? Every week you don't do something. Every week you don't take a step. Every week you don't move towards something. You're just missing out, right? So step one, join us, right? Just join us, come to one of our meetings, just sign up, meet us, learn that, and touch people who are doing what you're doing, right? Don't literally touch them, right? Unless you ask them, right? But touch people that we are in our group that are doing fix and flips right now. Conversate with me that is actually walking through a project right now. I'm actually helping investors buy properties. I'm actually helping people write offers and get them over it, right? I had one client that I just had them. We wrote an offer knowing that we might not get the deal, but I wanted to, pop that cherry for him of him writing an offer and getting comfortable, because this was the first deal. This was the one thing I wanted to get him comfortable with reading the contract and everything else. And, now that we did it, even though we didn't get that deal, he feels more comfortable. I think sometimes people will get so hesitant to want to write that offer because they're afraid if it gets accepted. So sometimes writing an offer that doesn't get accepted just makes you like, oh, okay, it's not a big deal, right? And then you can keep moving forward, right? And step 2, enroll, right? Even if you don't jump in and use the AspiRE cohort because you think it's more costly, the RTS cohort, please sign up for the AspiRE, right? The 90-day cohort is $500 investment that you just do the 90-day program. We meet every week. We give you assignments. We help you keep promoting. We help you keep pushing. We help you keep executing. Now, if you want the execution lab, the RTS cohort, that's where you get me and $7,000 worth of materials, product, services, just for $2,500. So if you can work with that, awesome. We would love to work with you. And there you have it, right? Our very first AspiRE Beast Council podcast. Thank you for joining me. We're going to be doing this weekly. And like I said, this was the first one where you're just going to get me, but hopefully moving forward, I'm going to have some guests. They'll be either in studio or, we'll be chiming them in live, and we'll be doing a split screen. But just wanted to get this out there to you guys and let you know that we're so grateful that you keep showing up every week. We just want to support those investors in our community that is trying to improve our community, right? I don't want to work with people that just buying properties, and if it's a crappy property, I'm gonna leave a crappy property and then I'm gonna still try to raise rent. We don't want those individuals. You're not a real investor. You are not a true capitalist. You're just a leech, and we want real investors, real landlords buying those properties instead of people like that's doing it. And that we feel like this community helps those things happen. And so just want to keep promoting that. We keep wanting to push that. We keep wanting to make that our we want to keep making that our purpose, right? We, again, this is more of my purpose of, I don't want to help you buy a property. I want to help you buy a business. It just so happens to be a property. And AspiRE is here to help build that community, build that ecosystem, to make investors have that community, because sometimes it can feel lonely trying to do all this on your own. A lot of books kind of make it seem like it's a solo sport, and I just try to remind people that this is definitely a team sport. You need those support. You need those individuals in your corner, helping you learn, helping you build, and helping you grow. So again, thank you. We're going to be doing this every Wednesday. Second Wednesday of the month, we'll be having the AspiRE Mastermind Meetup group. Again, find us on Facebook, find us on Instagram. You can find me as well, Charles Anthony Clark. You can find me on LinkedIn. You can find me on Facebook. You can find me on Instagram. I'm a little bit old, so I'm not on TikTok. But you can also find me on YouTube. You also can find AspiRE YouTube channel as well. We got a bunch of videos up there. I got a bunch of deal analysis videos on there as well. So we got some content out there for you so you can learn. You can follow me on Instagram, where I have a bunch of bright idea videos where I kind of give you little nuggets on how to run your real estate investment business. And with that being said, I am Charles Clark, your real estate investment broker, here with another bright idea for AspiRE Beast Council podcast.